Okay, to start out with today, I want you to give these few problems a try here on the problem of the day. You can check them here after you try them. What I want you to do is go ahead, pause the video, try them, and then you can start it again and check them. So go ahead and pause the video right now, please. All right, so to check these, A, blue to green, well, there's 30 blue, 40 green, so 30 over 40, and that reduces to 3/4. For B, ratio of blue to red, so there's 30 blue, there's 20 red, so 30 over 20, which reduces to 3 over 2. And then for C, what's the ratio of total pencils to yellow pencils? Well, to get your total, you got to add them all up. So 30 plus 20 plus 10 plus 40, that adds up to 100. So your total is 100, there's 10 yellow, that reduces to 10 over 1. And remember, you got to have the 1 on the bottom. You can't just have 10 there. Okay, a ratio has to have two numbers. Okay, so moving on here. All right, so in this lesson, we're talking about proportions. Two equal ratios make a proportion. And in a proportion, the cross products are equal. So for example, the proportion 2/4 equals 1/2 is made up of the ratios 2 to 4 and 1 to 2. So if you look at the cross products there, 2 times 2, that's a cross product, and 4 times 1, that's a cross product. So 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 1 is 4. So since they both equal the same thing, both cross products equal the same thing, it's a proportion. If you look at the example down here, we've got 1 to 3 and 3 to 9. Do they make a proportion? Well, if I take 1 times 9 for that cross product, and I take 3 times 3 for the other cross product, well, 1 times 9 is 9, and 3 times 3 is 9. So yes, they're a proportion. If you look at the other example, is 2 to 5 equal to 4 to 9? Well, again, look at your cross products. 2 times 9 is 18. But 5 times 4 is 20. So since one cross product equals 18 and the other one equals 20, that means it's not a proportion. Okay? All right, next here we've got talking more about proportions. They're used to solve many types of problems. And in the following lessons, we're going to look at a few examples of the types of problems you can solve with proportions. When you use a proportion to solve a problem, there's always going to be one part missing. And we're going to represent that missing part with a variable. So you see this example here, 3 to 4 equals 9 to x. Okay, the variable x represents the part we're missing. Now just remember that in a proportion, the cross products are equal. We're going to use that idea to solve these. So in this first example, we have 2 and 9 are a cross product. That equals 18. And then we have 3 times n as the other cross product. Well, 3 times n is just 3n. So we end up with the equation 18 equals 3n. Well, to solve that equation, all you have to do is divide by 3. So you can see in the example that when you divide by 3, you end up with 6 equals n. So the missing part there is 6. Okay, and it should make sense because if you put 6 in there, your cross product would be 6 times 3, which would equal 18, and then the other cross product would be 2 times 9, which also equals 18. So it makes sense. Okay, looking at the other example, now this one, the variable's in a different spot, but it doesn't change anything. We still solve this the same way. We have one cross product here is 15 times 3. That ends up being 45. And then the other cross product is 5 times x. Well, that just ends up being 5x. So we have 5x equals 45. So this time we divide by 5. And 45 divided by 5 is 9. So again, it makes sense if you were to put the 9 in the proportion for the x. One cross product would be 9 times 5, which would be 45. Your other cross product is 15 times 3, which we already know is 45. So again, your cross products equal one another. Let's look at some practice problems here. So this one, we've got 6 to 8 equals y to 4. We need to figure out what y is. So the first step is set the cross products equal to one another. So we know that 6 times 4, that cross product, has to equal 8 times y, the other cross product. We know 6 times 4 is 24. 8 times y is just 8y. The only thing we have left to do in this one is to divide both sides by 8. 24 divided by 8 is 3. And on the other side, your 8's cancel out, you're left with y. So we know that y is going to equal 3. And again, if you were to put that in there, your cross product would be 3 times 8, which is 24. Your other cross product is 6 times 4, which is also 24. So it works out. Okay, looking at the next one here, we've got 6 to x equals 48 to 40. So we need to set these equal to one another. So we've got 6 times 40 is one cross product. So we'll write that down. And we know that's got to equal the other cross product, which is 48 times x. Okay? So we know that, or we can calculate 6 times 40, that's going to be 240. 48 times x is just 48x. So all we have left to do here is divide by 48 on both sides. And we end up with 240 divided by 48 is 5. Your 48's cancel over here, you're left with x. So we know that 5 equals x. And then last one here, number 3. We've got our cross products here, so I can take 4 times x. 4 times x is going to be 4x. And then I have to take 11 times 20. Okay, so we've got 4x equals 11 times 20 is 220. 220. So we divide by 4. And we get our 4's cancel. We're left with x equals 55. All right, so that's what you're going to be working on in your assignment is solving proportions, identifying, if they're equivalent or not. Again, if ratios are equivalent, when you multiply the cross products, you will get the same number. Okay, the cross products are equal. There's also some independent work in your notes there. Give that a try and let us know. Come around and check it, and then you can work on your homework. Good luck.